Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Niall. As you can tell from the title of this video, today I'm going to be giving you guys some college advice from a now junior in college. Like I said, I'm going to be giving you guys some college advice, freshman, transfer, anyone who's even a junior, like whatever. If you're looking for some good college advice, I know it's back to school season, so I thought I would just do a video kind of giving my advice from my 3 years of being a college student. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so just some background about me. My name is Niall. Again, I'm a junior sociology major at Morgan State University. I transferred from Morgan last school year, so 2021-22 school year was my first year at Morgan State. I took a year off at the start of the pandemic, and then before that I went to North Carolina Central University, where I was a biomedical sciences major. Now I'm a sociology major. Quite different. Let's not even talk about it. But yeah, so this is my advice as an HBCU junior. And yeah. Alright, so the first piece of advice I have is to be social. Be as social as you can, especially that first year, especially that first week. If you're an incoming freshman, go to as many of the freshman week, if your school has that, activities as you can, because that's where you're gonna meet people. That's where you're gonna, you know, find out about stuff like events, organizations, stuff like that that you can be a part of. I also would recommend going to the org fair if you guys have that too, or whatever freshman week involves, whatever. Even if you're a transfer student, go to the org fair, okay? Like, get in at least one organization and be active in it, because that is how you can make friends. That's how you can get out of your room a little bit. Like, that's how you can do a lot of stuff. That being in an organization will open the door to a lot of different possibilities. And there's probably plenty of orgs at your school. For example, at my school, I'm in 2 different orgs. I'm in Active Minds, which is a mental health organization, and I'm in the Sociological Society, which is just exactly what it is. It's a club about sociology. So I joined both those orgs in the spring semester last spring, so kind of right as the school year was wrapping up. We had 2 org fairs, one in the fall, one in the spring. I only went to the second one, and I only went because my roommate slash best friend forced me to go. Her org had a table there, so she forced me to go. She didn't force me to go, but I popped by, and she forced me to sign up for at least 3 orgs, and I signed up for 3, but I ended up only joining 2, like, actually. So I highly recommend. I'm very excited to be starting this coming semester as an executive board member for both of these organizations. It's gonna be a lot of work, but I'm excited because it's getting me out of my comfort zone. Like, the first year that I transferred, I went to class and I went home. Like, I don't live on campus, so like, I just went to class and I went home and I didn't talk to anybody. So I'm trying to do better this year, especially because she's graduating this spring, so I'm gonna be all by myself next fall. So I'm trying to, you know, get out there, get comfortable, and all that kind of stuff. Also follow the social media pages. Follow the Instagrams. Please follow the Instagrams. My cousin is an incoming freshman at my school, and he doesn't follow the Instagram, so I had to send him some stuff. Make sure you follow the Instagrams. I didn't follow the Instagrams until my best friend, like I just said, forced me to do all this stuff. She got me to follow the Instagrams. So now, you know, you're up to date on parties, different activities, just different events. So follow the Instagram of orgs you're interested in. Follow the Instagram of student activities board, stuff like that, just so you can stay in the know and know what's going on, even if you're not like in like a social group, if that makes sense. Okay, the next piece of advice that I want to give you is, before the first day of classes, do a quick little walk around campus, one, to get familiar, and make sure you hit all the buildings that your classes are going to be in for the semester, because it's a new campus, it's a new environment. You're not going to know where everything is, and you don't want to be overly stressed out on your first day. You don't want to be also worried about finding where your class is, walking into the wrong class on the first day and having to walk out. Yeah, so I did this my freshman year at North Carolina Central. Me and my roommate, we decided to go and walk around campus to get familiar, see where our classes were, so we would know like what the building looked like, how to get there, how long it would take to get from one building to another building, all that, so we weren't extra stressed on first day school. And on the first day of classes, all we had to do was go. Also, to add on top of that, get to classes early. This is the third one. Get to your classes early. please, especially the first day, first week, because you want to get a good spot. You want to get a good seat, especially if you're at a bigger university where you have like really big lecture halls and you're in one of those classes that have 1,000, okay, not 1,000, but like 100 students in it. You want to get a good seat. Your seat is important. Now, obviously you're not in high school, so you don't have assigned seats. The teacher's not going to tell you where you have to sit. And your seat is not where you have to sit for the rest of the semester. But generally speaking, that's kind of how it goes. Whatever seat you sit in the first day is your seat. Like, and people will get upset. They might not say it to you, but like, I know if someone sat in my seat that I've been sitting in, I'm gonna be upset because like, that's my seat. I just advise you to get there early and get a good seat. And make sure also, if you get there early, you can make sure you're in the right class and you'll have time, just in case you aren't, to figure that whole situation out without being late to class. Does that make sense? Yeah. The next piece of advice I have doesn't really, this video is coming out kind of late, so it might not help you right now, but in the future, it may help you. Don't take an 8 a.m. Do not take an 8 a.m. class. I know everyone has probably told you that. Believe them. I didn't believe them my freshman year and I took an 8 a.m. Luckily, the class didn't really matter that much and the teacher was very chill, so I didn't really, you know, feel too many repercussions of that, but it was dreadful. I did not enjoy going to an 8 a.m. It was like, you think you can wake up for it because in high school you would wake up even earlier to go to whatever. It's something in the water at college. It's something in the water that is just going to change your whole mindset. 8 o'clock feels like 5 a.m. Like, honestly, it is so early for no reason. I feel like 9 o'clock should be the earliest you have class. If you can help it, don't take an 8 a.m. Even if you're a morning person. I mean, if you think you can do it, do it. I thought I could do it and I didn't do it. I did it, but it wasn't a fun experience for me at all. I would not take an 8 a.m. unless it was between an 8 a.m. and a night class. Then I would choose 8 a.m. But if you have the power to choose, don't take either. just don't take either. That leads into my next point. Make sure on your schedule your classes are ending at an early time. I think the best time to be done with classes is between 2 and 3 p.m. Like, your last class at the latest should be over at 3 o'clock. Not starting at 3 o'clock. It should be over at 3 o'clock. If you have to, then like, obviously take the class you have to take at the time they're available. But I would suggest not having a class after 3 because you're not gonna feel like going. You're just not gonna feel like going. So I just would advise you not to have class after 3. I guess a next mini point would be, don't have too many classes in one day. The only way I can understand having too many classes in a day, like when I say too many classes, I mean 4 or more classes in one day. That's a lot of classes. It doesn't sound like a lot because, like I just said earlier, high school, you used to having maybe 8 classes a day. It's not the same. It's not the same. But when it's time to make your schedule and register for classes, you got to be on it, because if you want a certain schedule and you want a certain lifestyle, you need to be registering for your classes as soon as registration opens. As soon as registration opens. Okay, my next point or piece of advice is go to office hours. Go to your teacher's office hours. I personally, I don't do this, but you should. You should definitely go to people's office hours because making a connection with your teacher is very important. Having your teacher know who you are is very important, like very important. They will give you a lot more grace for assignments, extensions, like stuff like that. They will give you a lot more grace than other students who just are there or don't participate. So along with going to office hours, participate in class. Raise your hand, ask questions, talk, make sure the teacher knows who you are, because that can help you further down the road with things like recommendations. But my next piece of advice, don't skip class. For the life of you, do not skip. Skipping in college is much easier than skipping in high school because nobody is watching you. Nobody really cares that you're not there. Some schools do have rules about skipping. And if you skip a certain amount of times, then you might have to retake the class, something like that. So make sure, you're paying attention to all that. But skipping It is a lot easier to do in college than it is in high school, and skipping is very addicting. So I would advise not to skip. If you skip, give yourself a limit of how much you skip one class a semester. Like, only skip 3 times. Try not to skip as much as you can. Next piece of advice. This kind of goes into my last point. Read the syllabus. Read every single one that you get, top to bottom. Top to bottom. The syllabus is your best friend. Sometimes teachers will have every single assignment listed on the syllabus before the first day of classes. And that is like gold to you. You know what I mean? That's really good information to have, because now you can be more on top of your stuff. You can know when you have a big paper due. You can know what your assignments are gonna look like, because sometimes teachers go in depth. Sometimes they'll tell you what is expected of each assignment. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't even have assignments on there. But I would advise reading it just to get a better look at the class, the structure, how it's gonna go, what you're expected to do, how many assignments a week you're supposed to have, stuff like that. Just so you can kind of get ahead of that. And also a good thing with looking at the syllabus is to know the grading system and the point scale. So teachers may grade differently. They may use different grading systems. So you can figure out how many points each assignment is worth. This is also not good advice, but if you find out how much the assignments are worth, then you can figure out which assignments really don't matter. You know, what you can gloss over, what's not important. The next piece of advice I have for you is to spend your money wisely, okay? Spend your money wisely, because as soon as you get it, it's gone. College is expensive in a lot of ways. Food, you're gonna wanna eat out all the time. You're gonna wanna DoorDash food all the time. I mean, my freshman year, I was DoorDashing Moe's at least twice a week. Yeah, so be responsible, be financially responsible, like really. Also, take advantage of your dining dollars if you have that. I know freshmen at most schools have to have a meal plan. So make sure you take advantage of your meal plan. It may not only be used at the CAF. You might be able to use your meal plan, you know, at other restaurants, dining on campus or off campus. You never know. So make sure you look into everywhere that your dining dollars are accepted. I think my last piece of advice is going to be have fun. That's so cheesy and corny, but it's true. Don't try to focus too much on your schoolwork and studying and stuff like that. This is your freshman year, most likely. This is the real year where you can have a lot of fun and not face a lot of repercussions for it, because your classes, for the most part, are pretty easy because they're general education requirements. So nothing is really expected of you. You don't really have to do as much as you would as a junior. I'm taking all major classes, basically. So these classes matter. Like, I have to do good in these classes. I have to know what's going on because this is my life. You know what I mean? So freshman year is really the time where you can have a lot of fun. But so take advantage of it. Make sure that you're having fun, you're going to parties, but don't just have fun and go to parties. Make sure you're still getting your work done. And a little tip that I would give is to try to get your work done as soon as you get it. As soon as you get assigned an assignment, do it. Like, as soon as you get assigned a paper, start it. Especially with papers. Start that paper. The amount of times that I have waited until the last minute to write an 8-page paper, just this summer alone, three times I've waited to write a really long paper until the day before it was due. And it's not fun to do that. But I would advise to do all your homework the day you get it. If you get an assignment on Monday and it's not due until Friday, do it on Monday. One last bonus piece of advice, even though I've given like 10, use your resources on your campus, okay? You pay for them, use them. It's just like amenities at an apartment. Use them, you're paying for it, use it. Counseling center, writing center, everything, tutoring, everything. Use that, abuse it, because it's there for you to do that. Don't be embarrassed, don't be afraid. If you need the help, they're literally there to give you the help. You're paying for people to help you. Get the help. Those are all the pieces of advice that I have for you guys. I hope this was helpful. I hope it gave you guys some interesting tips. I hope it like took some weight off your shoulders, maybe a little bit, just got you ready and more excited for the beginning of this school year. I know I am. If you have any other questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave them down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.